This channel is supported by my online fishing courses at saltstrong.com/Skinner, as well as my books. And hey, those books make great gifts. You can learn more about the books at johnskinnerfishing.com and on Amazon. Yeah, good morning. Heading out to the bass rips. Recently, I did really well using 7-inch tsunami swim shads on the 3-way rigs instead of bucktail. So what I'm going to try this time is I've got some of the big 9-inch tsunami swim shads, and I want to see if I can cull out some larger fish. Because there's some adult bunker around, there should be some bigger bass. So all right, we'll see what happens. Okay, just getting set up. Before I go to the swim shads, I'm just going to take do a little fishing with the bucktails, and I'll kind of condense that and just show you what I'm catching with the bucktails. I mean, for me, just getting out here, want to make sure there's a bite going on. I have a ridiculous amount of confidence in the bucktail, so it's kind of like my control. You know, I want to make sure I've got catchable fish here, and then I'll start messing around with the shads and work my way over to that larger 9-inch shad. I'll have links to all of the gear in the video description, and if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. This is Eastern Long Island. Okay, standard 3-way rig. There's a 3-way swivel. About a foot below that is an 8-ounce cannonball sinker. The other loop of the 3-way has about a 5-foot leader of 80-pound test Seagar fluorocarbon, and in this case to a bucktail. By the way, on that sinker dropper, normally I use lighter line there. I'll have my main line is 30-pound test. The sinker dropper is 30, but with like an overhand loop in it to make it a little bit weaker. The idea there is if you hang that sinker first, you might break it off and not lose the whole rig. Technique is drop it to the bottom, take a couple cranks up, and it's a drift of about 3 miles an hour on average, and just want to glide it near the bottom, follow the bottom contour, watch the fish finder. If you drag bottom here, you will hang up, you will lose your rig. Starting about, in this case, about 90 feet, drift back. It's going to be up and down. Probably the minimum depth I'll see is 40 feet. And I'm just looking at that fish finder a lot, watching that bottom contour. When I see it coming up, I'm going to take like a crank just to keep it from hanging. If it drops off, I'll reset that sinker. I'll drop back down to the bottom, pick up another crank or two, just trying to follow the bottom contour. Right now, just trying to establish that there are fish here. Yeah, and you see, that's like a schoolie bass, and that's why I'm trying to use some larger offerings and see if I can cull out some larger fish. And to show you that that's not an aberration, let's take a look at the next 2 drifts and see what's caught. On the bucktail again. Maybe that one's slightly larger, but pretty much a small fish. Next drift. Same thing, really no size. Okay, hey, I've satisfied myself at this point that I've got fish to work with, because there's boom, boom, boom. All right, gonna switch it over. On my left, that is a 9-inch. Now, I know when I had the video intro, the 9-inch had a second hook on it. I cut that hook off. 2 reasons. The big one is, you'll see this kind of fishing, I'm leadering all those fish at the side of the boat. I have the 80-pound leader material, can grab that leader, hold on, unhook the fish, and I'm also drifting back towards a semi-dangerous rip, and I want to unhook those fish quick, get them back in the water, not drift into the rip. The other thing is, do I want that second hook, banging the fish up? I don't think that second hook is necessary. I don't want it in my hand. I don't want it like in the fish's eye, so I've cut the second hook off. We'll see how that goes. Right now, I'm using the 7-inch, not the 9-inch. So I just want to start with the 7, catch a fish. I'll move over to the 9-inch shad. Okay, so that fish on the 7-inch shad was certainly bigger than any of the ones I caught on the bucktail. All right, let's go right over to the 9-inch shad now. Let me tell you what my concerns are. The 7-inch shad weighs 3 ounces. The 9-inch shad weighs 6 1/4. So it's not so much the combined weight. My concern is that that heavier shad, but it's also larger, a lot more surface area, bigger tail. I'm worried that it's going to drag bottom. Actually, when I first put it in the water, I gave it a little look there to see if it would stand out. It seems like it does. Hey, only one way to find out. I've dropped it down. I'm using an 8-ounce cannonball. That's quite a payload. 8 ounces plus 6 1/4 is 14 and change. And the rod handles are fine. There's a missed hit right there. I'll talk more about that. Okay, see if the 9-inch does any better. It does not feel like it. And it's 2 hits on this drift with it. But this doesn't feel any bigger, maybe. Maybe it's bigger. Maybe it came up easy. No, it's definitely bigger. Boy, that's not a big fish, and no trouble eating it. All right. Okay, might as well show running up current here. You know, everybody's running up, drifting back, and what you do is you just go up ahead of the boats. You know, either you pick a wide open lane, or most often you'll have boats behind you. You just go up ahead of them. It's worth noting, like, that is a party boat, Nancy Ann. I'm quite sure that's Nancy Ann. Very popular, very productive boat here. I know what he's going to do, because he's going to turn. He's actually going to power troll down a little bit. So that's in my mind. When I'm looking to set up, I know he's going to make that turn, and he's going to head down current bow first, and like bumping it into gear. You can see him doing that. So I'm going to make sure I stop here and don't get anywhere near that. So that's kind of helpful to minimize any problems and having to reset the boat or anything. So. All right, here we go. Second drift with that 9-inch. Oh, no. And there you saw one of the complications of fishing these grounds. As soon as that rig hit the bottom, it was hung. It touched bottom, it hung. If you drag bottom, you're in big trouble. I was able to get out, thankfully. When you hang, get on it quick and try to yank it out. I'm not going to run up current with the boat and try to get it back. If it breaks, it breaks. But, all right, got that one. Okay, note that I missed a fish there, and I'll say more about that. better fish, huh? Okay, so with that larger swim shad, I'm scoping out more. The line's going more out on an angle. You don't want that. I've gone now from an 8-ounce cannonball to a 10-ounce cannonball. So yes, and now we're looking at over 16 ounces hanging off this rod. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this rod's made for fluke, and jigging like 2 to 6 ounce bucktails for fluke, and it's got a special taper. Worked on it a long time. I can't get over how well it performs with that kind of weight. And yet it is an awesome fluke rod. Yeah, it's the Dark Matter Skinner Jig and Bounce, the original. Alright, so this is the battery ran out on the top of the drift. It's the first drift with a 10-ounce sinker. It's the biggest one so far. Biggest fish so far. Boy, they eat these things. Okay, out of the 7 fish so far, the 3 on the bucktail, the 4 on the shads. The 4 on the shads were bigger than all 3 of the bucktail fish. So, yeah. All right, you get a good look at the fish finder. You can see that bottom sloping up. You can see me there you go, taking cranks, crank, make up for that bottom coming up so I don't drag it. Okay, another missed fish there. Hey, recently I did one of these videos with bucktails, 20 fish in 20 drifts, unedited. You will rarely see me miss a fish with a bucktail. And actually, I did one with a 7-inch swim shad. You don't see too many misses there. I think you've seen 3 misses already with the 9-inch. Okay, look there, floating on the water, right-hand side of the screen, drifting back. There's a bunker that fish spit up. So, yeah, that looks to be 10 inches or so. This lure is a perfect match in length and profile to that bait fish. Yeah, that's what they're feeding on. Okay, I'm going back to the 7-inch. You've seen me miss 3 fish. But I've missed more than that. There's a couple of drifts that I didn't show because I missed a fish I didn't hook up. I got to keep the video length reasonable here. But yes, I am absolutely 100% missing more fish, briefly having hookups and dropping the fish. Now, all right, the lure out of the package does come with that second hook. Maybe that would make a difference. I just can't handle the fish alongside the boat, leadering them, grabbing them, unhooking them. The danger of me getting a hook in my hand under these conditions, going back into the rip, just too much. Not going to do it. Maybe if you're just catching a few fish in a more controlled situation, that's fine. But yeah, anyway, back to the 7-inch. We'll see if it makes any difference in size, going from the 9 back down to the 7. I just switched from the 9 to the 7. Solid hookup. And actually, this is a pretty good fish. Now, I was just missing. It's dropped a lot of fish on the 9. This has got weight. So, it's as big as anything I've had today. All right, I'm going to go unedited for a bit here. I actually have a stretch of 6 drifts with fish. I'm going to show 3 of them. I'll show the whole thing running back up current and everything else, just so you see the whole thing. Keep it realistic. Yeah, I mean, definitely got a solid bite now on those 7-inch shad, so we'll get a good look at size. Perfect. So important when you get to the top of the drift, take that throttle, put it in reverse, stop the boat. I mean, look, even this boat, it only weighs 850 pounds. The motor's like 270 or something. But by doing that, when you drop down, like right now, if you don't do that, the boat keeps moving. It has momentum. It keeps moving. Your line scopes out. It's terrible. You don't go down the drift line that you think you're going to go. And other boats around you don't necessarily know what you're doing, or maybe you'll drift into them. Yeah, I can't stress that enough. I mean, think about, and I looked this up. If you've got a 30-foot center console, which is kind of like an average boat out here, that's 10,000 pounds. That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of momentum. If you just get up and put it in neutral and turn the key off, you are going to keep traveling, and that's going to make it hard at several levels. Also very important, when you stop your boat at the top of the drift, turn your steering wheel into the wind so that your boat is broadside to the wind. This keeps the wind from pushing you from behind. Because what happens is, if you are like parallel with the wind and it's blowing from behind you, it just forces the boat forward. And a lot of times, if you try to stop, I mean, it's all boat dependent, but if you try to set your drift up, bow into the wind just has its way with you and kind of blows things around. So, yep, get up there, stop it, turn the steering wheel into the wind. It's going to be your best bet at having decent drift. There we go. And in rips like this with swirling currents, you still might spin around a bit, but this is the best chance at having a nice stable drift. Yep, I did drop a fish there on the 7-inch. nothing like I was dropping on the 9. So on the recent video when I was doing the 7-inch, I said, wow, you know, these are probably roughly the same price as bucktails now because bucktails have gotten so expensive. Well, look, we're talking about it in the absence of bluefish. If bluefish are involved, forget it. These things will get all chewed up. But when I was looking at the prices of the swim shad, of the 7-inch, I forgot to take into account that you get 2 in a package. So, yeah, they're actually a little less expensive than bucktails because, you know, with the bucktail, you still need like a fat cow jig strip on there, and that adds a little more. But yeah, these shads 2 to a package. I don't know, what are they, like $12 or something? That's pretty cost effective, and I'm still using. This is the same 7-inch shad that I used from the previous video. Oh boy, this could be interesting. Not too bad. Oh, by the way, now that I've gone back to the 7-inch swim shad, I was able to go back down to the 8-ounce cannonball. So definitely dropped some collective weight there. So a couple of commenters on a previous video with the swim shads, the 7-inch swim shads, expressed reservations about the hooks. Oh my goodness, no way. I mean, if you saw that video, you're watching this video, I'm leadering all these fish. The hook is not budging. This swim shad's going to end up catching between the 2 trips, oh boy, about 35 bass. Really good hooks, and the 9-inch hook is even better. Somebody did mention they were referring to the hooks in, I think it was the 5-inch model. I don't know if they had older swim shads. I don't know if there was another brand. I can only tell you these tsunami hooks in the 7s and the 9s, very, very good, very sharp, very strong. No concerns at all. All right, something bad's going to happen on this drift. Yeah, I understand that most people doing what I do video-wise would just edit it out, and clearly I've got way more fish on this trip than I need for a video. I think I got something like 28 fish on this trip, and I'm not showing anywhere near that many. But, you know, bad things happen. I'm going to show it. There's a good one. Yeah, and there it is, man. That fish has inhaled that lure all the way into its gills. It's cut something. It's bleeding. It's way over slot. I have to release it. That's just the one downside of the slot limit, right? You know, I mean, normally had I been able to keep this, I would keep it. If I had to give fillets to neighbors, I would do that. Just sad, you know. I mean, look, what can I do? I'm using a single hook lure. I can't help that he took it that way. He just got it in the wrong spot. I'll get this guy back as quick as I can, but to me, that's just too much blood loss. And you know, I never keep striped bass, but yeah, I feel like I definitely killed one this trip.
Hey John, nice fish.
I killed it though.
Oh, did you?
It inhaled the swim shad all the way into the gills.
Listen, love the videos, man. Appreciate all you do out here.
Thank you. Boy, that sucked. Right back down here. Look at this. Holy smokes. I'm still at 87 feet here. Oh boy. Or is it the bottom? It is not the bottom. Yeah, it looks like I'm heading for the rip. Big guys like to come up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Goodness gracious. And there's the downside of the swim shad. Yeah, but hey, it had a good life. It took about 3 dozen bass, but it's not going to survive this. It would if I could just pop the hook out right here, and I just can't, because what he's going to do is he's going to chomp right there. He chomped down on it, almost got my finger, but he got the swim shad. I can't recover that swim shad. Wow, what a weird color. So black. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't want to catch a fish near him. All right, let's summarize this little bit of an experiment here. Okay, so first of all, the shads definitely took larger bass than the bucktails, and I made sure I caught a few on the bucktail first so I could compare, and there was no comparison. Out of, I think it was like 28 fish, probably 3 of the smallest 5 were the 3 that were caught on the bucktail. Okay, 7-inch versus 9-inch shad. No difference in size whatsoever. The 9s did not take larger fish than the 7s. What the 7s did, the 7s had a much better hookup ratio than the 9s. I missed a lot of fish, or I missed a concerning number of fish, and dropped some with the 9, and hardly at all on the 7. The 7 was definitely, if I got a hit, I probably got the fish. So yeah, that aspect was definitely interesting. But who knows? I'm working with what's here. It's not like I'm seeing anybody getting 40 and 50 pounders here. So it is what it is. And even the bunker are not like full size, big bunker. They're like, I don't know, 10 inches or so. It's kind of a strange size, but okay. All right, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Check out my online courses at saltstrong.com/Skinner. And don't forget my books, and those books make great gifts. You can learn more about the books at johnskinnerfishing.com and on Amazon.